Hey guys, it's your girl Leah Lovely here. Welcome back to my channel. So I really wanted to just like play with a bunch of color today, and that's what we did today. Okay, I had no direction. I just started like really just plopping on colors. So if like for Halloween you don't want to be anything specific, but you want to like just really go all out with your makeup and just do something bright and colorful, here you go. This might be the look for you. I use a lot of really cool, fun products. So if you want to get this look and figure out how to do it, keep on watching. Okay, so to start off with, I actually did my brows off camera just to save us a world of time. And for this video, I decided to go ahead and just use my e.l.f. eyebrow kit. And to, of course, moisturize my face, we're going to be using the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Water Gel with hyaluronic acid. I've already talked about this in my last video. This has been my favorite moisturizer that I've been using all summer. And, of course, I'm going to continue it into the fall. And I just recently cleaned all my brushes using this brush cleaner by Cinema Secrets that I actually got at Sephora. Super awesome, quick drying, absolutely love it. So to start, we're going to use the Sephora Pro palette, and I actually got the one in Editorial. We're going to use some Urban Decay Primer Potion in the shade Original for our eyeshadow base. Using a fluffy brush, we're just going to go ahead and blend that out. And then using another fluffy brush that we use in the crease, we're going to take our Naked Heat palette in the shade Sauced, and we're just going to put that all over the eyelid. That way we have a good transition color since we're playing with a lot of color today. And we're going to go in with this neon pink from the Sephora Pro palette. Make sure you tap some of it off because it does have a lot of kickback. We're just going to place that right there in the upper crease. And with this shadow, you definitely want to go in with the light hand, or else it will go on there pretty powerfully, so I just kind of gradually built it as I was putting it on. Next, we're just going to go in with another smaller crease blending brush with this teal color, and we're going to pop this right in the outer V, and we're going to kind of drag it up just a little bit to the center. Next, we're going to just take this flat shader brush and some Sephora Bright Future Gel Serum Concealer, and we're going to use that to cut out our crease. I actually like to use concealer versus like another eyeshadow base because it's way easier to work with. Like this kind of just glides on, whereas I've tried to use like a NYX eye crayon thing and it is just tugging at my eye. So this was just way easier to apply and kind of blend out as you get more into the teal color. Next, we're going to just take this angled eyeshadow brush and we're going to go in with this turquoise color, and this is what's going to go in the center of our lid. And for this one, I really had to kind of pack it on. As you can see, it got really patchy in certain areas, and I wasn't sure if that was just because part of the brush was wet or it was the concealer blending. I'm not too sure, but I really had to work with it. So next we're going to take just a small shader brush and this white eyeshadow, and we're going to put that on the inner corner. And make sure when you're placing it down, you're kind of blending it back. And I kind of had to go back and forth with all three colors that I had on there just because I wanted it to be super blended. And we're going to go back in with that same brush that we used in the beginning to blend out the pink, and we're going to use that to kind of just tie all the colors together. And then next we're going to take the shade Chaser with just a little bit of a smaller blending brush, and we're going to go over the top portion of that pink crease so that way we can diffuse the edges and we don't have as sharp of a line. Next we're going to take our two NYX eyeliners. I decided to use these two. You can use any liquid liner as long as it's black. And I'm just gonna map out my regular, wing liner that I always do. Okay, once you have your black wings down, you're going to want to go into the face. That way we can let that dry. I went to Sephora recently and got 2 samples of the Pro Filter foundation in the shade 330 and 340. And today I'm going to try out the shade 340. I've been trying to see if I really like this foundation. This is actually the second time that I've used it. I find that it could be really drying for my face, which is shocking because I have oily skin. But once I put down like a setting powder and stuff like that, it gets really matte. And I don't like my foundations to be too matte. Maybe if I use like the primer that comes with it and then also the blotting powder, maybe it works better. But as far as shade goes, I do like the shade of it. It matched my skin perfectly. And of course I'm just going to conceal with my regular concealer. After we get all that laid down, we're just going to sit and chill and let that dry down a little bit since I don't really have anything else to do. I waited to put on the white liner just because I knew I would be putting my foundation on next and I didn't want the white to end up turning like a beige or a tan color because I was putting my foundation down. Okay, so now we're just going to go in with some Mercier setting powder. We're going to go ahead and set the under eyes, and I also set my smile lines because like I said in my last video, I crease there a lot because I'm always smiling. These are my favorite gummy bears in the world. They get stuck in my teeth though. Lord. Okay, and then we're just going to take a big fluffy brush and go ahead and just dust off all that excess powder. And I actually messed up here. I guess my liner didn't fully dry and my brush got caught on it and I got black liner all over the place. It happens. Don't panic. I kind of just pat it down, rub it a little bit so that it dries, and then I just place concealer on top of it. So I'm just letting that dry down a little bit. Then I'm just going to take the butt of my beauty blender and I'm going to blend that out just a little bit. The spot on my nose was a lot darker than I anticipated, so I actually just went ahead and I placed some more concealer on top and I just let that sit almost for the duration of me putting this on. So now we're going to go back with the NYX white matte liner and we're going to go around the edges of the black wing that we already placed down. This white liner, it looks pretty, but it's drying as hell. And you guys will see, like, at a certain part of the wing, it starts to crack, like, right there in the crease. And it's so drying, it, kind of shows all the wrinkles in my eyes. So, I wasn't too big a fan of that. I really had to work with it, but for the look, it came, towards the end of the look, it ended up coming out a lot better. And while I was actually placing this down, because it is such a bright white, I had to constantly wipe off the tip of the brush just because it was picking up the color that was on my eyes. But I would just, wipe that off and then dip it back in there so that way I didn't mix it around. And then I just went back in with my black liner to kind of define that inner part. And I was trying to clean up that area, but it just wouldn't do it because at this point, like, the liner had dried down and it started cracking and it just started getting on my nerves. So I was just like, F it. We're just gonna roll with it. And so now I went ahead and just blended that out and now you can't even see the marks. Haha. So next I'm going to go in with the Maybelline Master Contour Powder and I'm just going to use their contour powder that they have in there for bronzing. Next, I'm going to just take this angled foundation brush and go in with the Fit Me powder and 355 coconut. And I'm just going to use that to kind of get some of that excess Laura Mercier powder off. This is how I avoid flashback. Next, I'm going to just take this pink shadow along with this shorter shader brush and just line the bottom lids. Is that what you would call it? It's not the waterline. We're going to call it a bottom lid today. Your under eye. And then you're also going to take that teal color and go right on top so that it blends out. Next, you're going to take this blue mascara. This is the blue mascara from the Shayla Maybelline collab that she came out with. I was going to do lashes, but I hated the lashes that I did have. And I was just like, well, we're going against the grain anyways, makeup-wise right now. So I'm just going to put blue, mascara all over. I didn't want it to go too heavy on the top just because I didn't want it to take away from, the pop in eyeshadow that we have up there up top. Okay, and we're going to take this fluffy blush brush using the Wet n Wild Color Icon blush in the shade Mellow Wine. I'm just going to place that on the apples of the cheeks. Then I just took this fan brush and I decided to go in with MAC Cheeky Bronze. It's for the base highlight just because I didn't want it to be too bright, and I actually like this because you could almost use this as a blush topper. A blush topper. Because it comes out more of like a rose gold color, and I don't want to take anything away from the eyes because that's the main attraction right now. And then to top that, I also went in with the Maybelline Master Chrome in the shade Molten Gold. I absolutely love this freaking highlighter. It's so daggone bright, man. For $10, you can't go wrong. You cannot go wrong. And then for the lips, I decided to go in with MAC, and this is the shade Breathing Fire, I believe it's called. I'll put it down in the description box. I forgot how much I hate putting on regular lipsticks because I'm so used to using a brush to put it on. So I just went ahead and grabbed any lip brush that I had. And we're just going to use that to apply the lipstick around the edges because I have way more control doing that. Okay, and once you got the liner done, you just go ahead and go on top with just the regular lipstick. And next I wanted to take the Maybelline Shine Shot, and this is in the shade Prism, so this is that super like glittery, almost holographic one, just because I wanted to take the lips to the next level. I felt like they were kind of flat with just the lipstick alone, so I went ahead and just placed a little bit of that on top, and it gave this crazy shine on top. And yes, that's the final look. Something different, in case you don't want to, like I said, wear a big Halloween costume and you just want an excuse to pop on some crazy ass eyeshadow. Well, here you go. Here's some inspo for you. I'd love to see people recreate this, do their own rendition of it, anything.